Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Happy holidays, everybody out there. I've been crazy running around giving away Maryland lottery scratch offs, Ravens, and I'm getting the peppermint ones for next week. We're going to be at Costas. We're also going to be, don't tell anybody, but we're having the crab cake tour at a place that doesn't have a crab cake, but it's a meat cheese, so it's good. No problem. We're going to do meatballs. We're going to do the pane rotundo, and it is the most popular stop on all of my holiday tours. They're like, "You're doing it at Amici's. I got to go there." We'll be at Amici's on Tuesday. We'll be at Costas on Wednesday, running around trying to track down Gina Shock and bring her out. We brought her to Curio Wellness in the Foreign Daughter last year, right around this time, and our friends at Jiffy Lube Multicare obviously powering Luke back and forth, up and down, Owings Mills. New York, Pittsburgh, Houston before Christmas. All of this going on with football. I'm wearing my purple Curio. This is the zero. That's not the Roquan Smith. That's the spoken like home, the way we said it last week at Coco's. Wendy Bronfein is our defending champion. She's our chief cannabis officer. She is the chief brand officer with her family business, local Maryland business at Curio Wellness, as well as Foreign Daughter. You know about their work. You know this move bomb on my back is me, right? I've been searching strains. Where have you been? I haven't talked to you. I thought you were hiding at the Mariah Carey concert at CFG Bank Arena. Turns out you weren't even doing that. You were like putting sales on, doing shoe stuff, getting holidays ready. How have you been? I missed Thanksgiving. I ate all the leftover pumpkin pie because you weren't here to help me.
Hello, I know it has been crazy. This is definitely a really busy time of year for us in our business always.
Well,
We're
your
like
business
that.
is new, right? I mean, I often wonder, like, I'm 33 years into doing this and I'm still trying to figure it out, make it up as I go along. You guys are a year and a half into adult use and just trying to figure out what sells, what time of year. Is it like booze in December where the liquor stores were crazy on Christmas Eve and New Year's? I don't really know. Do you know, or is there enough history to know, is December like a big month for some reason?
I would say as soon as the holiday season begins, so even ahead of like going into Thanksgiving. So, and we saw this in medical and it carries over. Essentially, um, it's a lot of the conversations around sort of three areas, either the stress of like preparing, dealing, hosting all kinds of holiday thing, the merriment of like I have lots of things to do and enjoying those activities, or it's the family social anxiety kind of situation. Like everyone's coming to my
I
house,
got a
or I've got
story for you. I'll let you keep going, but we're going to go back to that because
so
I did
so
Thanksgiving.
yes. So since medical, that theme has played and it definitely carries through. It's just now more people, have the ability to shop.
I guess in the modern era, I'm 33 years into this. It's legal. We talk about it. We really do this as an educational thing because I'm trying to figure it out on a daily basis. Just learn about the plan. I mean, I'm interested in it, just naturally interested. But so are family members of mine. And I'm not going to out anybody, but it was not my wife. I'll just say this: we were over. We had a Riesling wine. We had a 22-pound turkey, and there were like four of us. Uh, Turkey every day after we had turkey piccata. We were doing 5 days later. So we were thinking things through. And at some point, your name came up, the show, Curio, whatever, and family member X, not Y, pulled said item out of pocket that was Edie Parker and went on a diatribe about how cute these things were and this, and then my wife gets into it and then starts talking fuse this and this and that, and it became a family conversation, not in the Clark Griswold like I'm stressed out, I need relief here. It was more like a conversation about your brands and strains and usages and things. And then every time I'm in your shop, and I was in your shop this week, and we'll discuss this, I got a little stuck behind some traffic because you're having one of these big sales you're always having. So some people in the showroom in Foreign Daughter, and I walk around your place, and your place is so well appointed that it would be two women talking Edie Parker stuff up and saying, "I love what you're doing. I like the products," but there is a vibe about it that I don't want to say. Dare I say Starbucks or some brand that people have this affinity for? Edie Parker brands, and I have brought up Happy Eddie, and I'm still chasing you down, Eddie. You know that to have you on for a crab cake, Mr. Pikesville dude, Mr. Local guy. But th- this is an interesting thing because I think what you've tried to do is go above and beyond whatever the preconceived notions of how it would be packaged, what the information would be. And then when you and I get together to say, how's that working for you? You know, and when people get together, they're like, I like this product because it makes me feel blank. And it may make you feel that way too. And I think that that becomes an open discussion in families where in the modern era, it becomes a conversation literally we had over the corn pudding.
Oh yeah. Well, so Edie Parker is really began as a women's fashion brand, right? And so, and if you were to go to the website, there's tons of traditional accessories. They're very well known for a certain style of women's purse that they create. And
See,
their
I don't know
founder,
the brand. It's not a clothing brand, but it's a women's lifestyle. Like I
yes,
know Coach, I know Betsy Johnson, I know Robert Graham from the male side because you'll see me in nice shirts, but I don't know the brand in that way, from the
yeah.
mall or whatever.
Well, and the founder's career came through the fashion industry, right? And so then they migrated and created this Flower by Edie Parker offshoot. And so they dabble in sort of two ways. One is they do a product line. So we have the license in Maryland to produce their products. And similarly, we'll be doing that in Missouri. And so that's the flower and the vapes that you see. But then they
And that's
also
across
have,
all lines, right? They're doing indica hybrid sativa.
yeah,
It's not our brand is a blank brand and
correct.
that's the right. Okay, so I'm just trying to understand that as well.
Yeah. And then they have a whole suite of accessories um that are kind of more cannabis lifestyle, and we sell those in the front of our store. And that is kind of in speaking to those, or even like we have this new line we brought in the holiday season called Token Jew, that has
I
these like
saw
other.
that stuff at the front.
Right. Like they're just these quirky things. And so the way that I sort of related to people is if you think about it, to a certain extent, when people get married, and you register and you think, well, I want these wine glasses. I want this shaker set or this decanter or something like that. This is a sort of same thing. They're artifacts in your home that you may or may not use, but they sort of have a nod to the sector. So, they have Edie Parker has an ashtray that looks like a watermelon cut in half, right? They have
It's very
pipes that
artsy.
look
I
like
would say that. It's
toothbrushes,
very
right? They're
hip,
just,
right?
yeah.
Hip
I,
is the word I'm using.
I have on a table in my house. It looks like there's this like glob of glass grapes, like a bunch of grapes with a stem. But if you actually picked it up and looked at it, you'd notice that one of the grapes is a bowl and that you could put your mouth on the stem. But if you didn't know that, you would just think, hey, there's a glass sculpture of some grapes sitting there. So it's kind of quirky things like that are sort of fun. They actually have a fantastic purse that they created that actually, if you think about the retractable leash for your pet, it has on the side a unit where you put your lighter, and it's on that same sort of retraction so that you can't lose your lighter because you can pull it off and use it to light yourself or someone else, but they can't steal your lighter.
Party tricks, man. Where was this stuff at the beach when I was a kid? Wendy Bronfein is here. She is a Curio Wellness. She is the chief brand officer. Sort of knows a lot of stuff. Sometimes we talk about the government. Sometimes we talk about products. Sometimes we talk about holidays or discounts. I want to take a moment to just not just talk about the store, but it's the end of the year. So I must say, I'm shopping. I'm trying some strains on your behalf and recommendations and places where, when I'm in the quiet of my place, what can make me I don't need sleep issues. We've talked about this. My wife is more, and you do amazing work with time elapsed things that allow people to sleep through the night, especially people that get up in the middle of the night and pee. That's not my issue. Mine's more creativity, relaxation, stress level, those kinds of things. And there's a strain called Cheetah Piss that you have that you're like, can we say that on the radio? I just did. I don't know what else to call it because that's what it is, Cheetah Pee Pee. And I don't know how these things get their names or whatever. But if you're going to rename one and fix it, I'll throw Nasty Nestor in for that one. But when I was there, I had a little issue with last time I was in, and I talked to somebody, and they looked up my points, and they're like, "You get a lot of points, dude." And I'm like, "You want to use them?" I'm like, well, how many points do I have? And they're like, yeah, you got a lot of points. You got to, they'll get to the end of the year. And I'm like, whoa, I got to talk to Wendy about this because I need to understand two kinds of points. First off, is I use, and I tell everybody about this as a CEO guy trying to develop a better app on my own. You use this Lucid ID QR code that when you buy a Move product, there's a QR code on it. You zap the QR code, you get points for use for products and goods in your store. Then there's the actual, like, I bought stuff at Foreign Daughter and I have Foreign Daughter points. Do they both of these expire at the end of the year? Do tell because it's December something. I'm worried.
So
I got to
the
shop.
yeah, so the Curio uh the Curio the oh, sorry, let's start with the store.
Store.
The Foreign Daughter has a loyalty program and you earn those points. Those do expire at the end of the year. If you when you open up the app, you can see your points count. You can also ask in the store and they'll tell you your points count. And then you can use, I think it's like 2,000 points is $100.
Correct. That's what they
Um,
told me. Yep.
yeah. And so I believe it's every 7 days you can kind of burn through them. So like I know I was having this conversation the other day because I think here, let me open up mine. I think I have 5,000 points. Yeah, I have like 5,800 points sitting there.
You
And I was
better
like,
use
oh,
them.
right. So the good news is that you can just like I went in yesterday and used some, and that's what I'm saying. I'm down to 5,800 and I used them yesterday, but and was like I did that 100, and so I just got like exactly $100 worth of stuff and like took the points out, and then I'll do it again next week. So the way I see it is like, okay, between now and the end of the year, I could essentially shop and not
So if
spend,
I
I
want
guess.
that grape thing you're talking about, the glass thing, that
Oh yeah, you can use it in the front as well.
nice. All right. Wendy Bronfein here. So then the actual Zappy Zap that I do afterward, those are more Curio. It has to be a Curio product. If you zap the wrong thing, it just says it's not, it doesn't work. These are Curio points, correct?
Yeah, so those are no matter where you shop. So you could be buying products to get
Any
uh
Curio product at any dispensary in the
any
state, right?
dispensary.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the Curio points. So if you go on the website where it says Curio Awards, there's like a terms and conditions link. So those expire one consecutive year from the last qualifying activity. So as long as you keep
Oh,
participating,
those points don't expire then. Oh,
essentially, yeah, if you
okay.
go to a certain extent, if you go dormant, they can. But based on the terms, it's one consecutive year from the last qualifying activity.
All right. Well,
Um,
it says redeem online. I've never redeemed them, which is
yeah, so
always look. I thought Wise giving me a free ham at Christmas was kind of cool. I'm trying to figure this out, but knowing that they expire, and certainly, everyone that shopped in your store this year probably has them. I haven't really redeemed them, so this is a giddy up to get folks in this next couple of weeks.
well,
Did you get in
the
and redeem them?
with the lucid one, so there's sort of two things with the lucid one. Even say you're listening now and you're like, wait, if I scan that QR code on the bag, I could start collecting some points. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you are looking around your closet and you're like, wait, I got this, I just found this old container that I didn't even know I still had, and it's got a QR code, you can still claim it as long as it's never been scanned before. You can scan it. It is important to know that you can't scan it until you leave the dispensary. Like it won't work in a certain perimeter. You got to get farther away from the building. But the those when you do that, the redeem online, there you're telling us what you want and it's sending us a message. So those items will be shipped to you. If you choose to redeem it for a gift card that you can use at one of our dispensaries, then you'll get that as like an e-gift card.
Wow, I've
Everything
never
else,
clicked on redeem. Now I just did, and it shows me everything I could buy: travel bag, fanny pack, e-gift card, vape battery, grind. Like it's all here. Dog collar, all sorts of things are here. Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Okay,
I did the dog collar, and I didn't realize that it's like I have a very small dog, and the collar is like more of like
it's a
like the band is like thicker. So if your dog isn't like I would say at least like maybe 15 pounds, which mine is not. Um, like the collar is ridiculous looking, but I'm like, whatever.
I don't need the dog collar.
Right.
I'd be more about the fanny pack or something like that. Wendy
Yeah.
Bronfein is here. Last thing, just on the stores and on where we are. You're doing a ton of sales. Like I didn't have you on like around Thanksgiving, and I really wanted to have you on because I was seeing stuff. You did like a week long thing that was a Black Friday thing, but it lasted like longer than that and started a
Green
little
week.
earlier. Okay, I mean you were rebranding everything. You're the brand manager. So do tell through the holidays. It just feels like every day when I'm getting dailies from you guys, there's just a lot of deals to be had at the end of the year.
Yeah, so November and then into December we have something called Chew Fest going on. So regardless of whether you're shopping at our store or elsewhere, um there's a series of dispensaries that are all participating around the state. And there you can, if it's like if you buy one chew, you get 10% off. If you get buy two chews, you get 20% off. If you buy three different chews or three of the same chew, you get 30% off. So sort of the more you buy, the more you save sort of thing. And so if you're near us, if you're near Nature's Care and Wellness, Rise Dispensaries, Nirvana, Dispensary Works, Ascend, The Dispensary in Carroll County, True Leave, Health for Life, a bunch of different places. You can take advantage of that at those dispensaries as well.
That's one thing I
Um,
talk to you. I always talk about Farm Daughter, and I know Farm Kent's up more in Elkton a little bit, and I've been by there on Route 40 as well. But your stuff is 90% of the dispensaries. If anybody walks into a dispensary in the state, there's a strong chance that your strains, your products, especially the really cool product like the Move product that I'm holding up on the just products like that, that they're kind of everywhere. Curio brand
Yes.
products, right?
Yeah, you were in virtually every dispensary in the state. And then the only other thing in our dispensary, at least right now inside of this current week, like in the up till Thursday, they have this happy hour thing going on from 3 to 7 with chews. So they have like a different, like an additional kind of way to explore chew promotions at our own store. And we also have, if you, it's, if the weather's not great, it's getting colder, it's been rainy, whatever it is, there's curbside at our Timonium location. There's lots of spots, big parking lot. You pull up, we can bring it out to you. You don't even have to come inside if you don't want. Also, people really
Shoes are
like that when they
interesting,
have
right? Because it
kids.
was something like nobody had any access to shoes. And flour was something we could talk about the legality for years, but and brownies and like things like that. But like your shoes, and I've toured your facility and we've talked so much about flavor profiles and the way that they're made these days that they do taste really good. That trying them out is something that a lot of folks didn't have any access to ever try them. I would think that this is a really a growing part. Every time I talk to you, even when I talk to your sister, sometimes it's flour, 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 and that's where it is. But it would feel to me that the chew part of this and the trouble you all go through to harvest material, make things taste good, and also the fact that it doesn't affect your lungs. The fact that if you're anti-smoking for whatever reason, and there's plenty of reasons to be anti-smoking, that the chews would be a place people that if they're enjoying the product, seeing it, feeling it, knowing about the medicinal purposes, all of that, the chews would be the growth, I would think.
Yeah, it's so the top three categories are flower chews and vape. So essentially two that are a form of inhalation and one that's a form of consumption. But yeah, because I think you can see more uh variation of potency, right? So when you have flower, you do have variation of potency because you have different percentages in that THC profile. But here you're talking about anything from likely some as low as 2 milligrams of THC to depending if you're going in the medical sector, it can be up to 40. But from an adult use, the 10 you could highest you could be 10. Then you also get into the presence of more targeted products, like when we talk about the terpene chews that we make, and then even the products that we do where they're around a certain issue you're trying to tackle. Is it like your mood management or stress during the day or evening? Is it sleeping? Is it body aches and pain? Those products that we make, or even GI issues, all have ratios. So now you're talking about THC with a minor cannabinoid like CBG, CBN, CBD that aren't psychoactive, but relate more to what you're trying to solve for. So like a good day chew that we produce that is 20 milligrams of CBD and 2 milligrams of THC, it's very good for someone who's not looking to be high, but is looking to take the edge off, right? Things that would irritate you, you need to de-stress, you just want to improve your mood, right? You're not getting a psychoactive effect, but you're getting a mood corrective effect.
People think I'm irritable, but I'm not. Wendy Bronfein is here. She's from Curio Wellness, your foreign daughter. Getting you ready for the holidays, educating as well. And I would just say some of the things you just said with cannabinoid and I, I know Nina's on a property there. I see the little
Mm-hmm.
sign up about doing different things. There is a point where I learned that on the internet, and then there's the well, where am I going to buy these products, and who do I trust in Curio Wellness? And I come in, and this is working, or this could work better, but every time I'm in your place, I think there are people on premise all the time ready to talk to you about these things and give you a little bit of time once you're there to talk through a lot of products. I don't want to compare you to the Cheesecake Factory. You got your menus bigger than that. It's just, it's huge, right? And I do think that you can be a little overwhelmed by all of it in
Absolutely.
finding the right product. I mean, you and I have been at this a couple of years and we laugh and joke about names of strains and stuff like that. And it turns out the strain that I'm like, that I think the cheetah piss is the one for me, but I do think there is a little trial and error. There's also just first off, the stigma, get by that, the legality, we're there, but then there's the education, the personal education of what you're trying to do. And it really is different for everybody. And I think you and I have talked about terpene profiles and things that move you in a certain way that might move another person in a different way, that it is personal and it's something that you have to um, immerse a little bit in order to get the most benefit, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, you mentioned Nina, so she's the pharmacist who's at our location in Timonium and also in Elkton, and she'll also do via Zoom. So you can consult with her at no expense to really understand if you want to kind of deep dive just relative to understanding the category in general, or if you're looking for things that lean a little bit more therapeutic, she's going to be able to give you guidance because she's also going to have that deeper understanding of any current medication that you're taking to treat things and how this can be an additive resource.
Doing this 33 years as I do, and you sponsoring our 26th anniversary, I've had almost all of my living teachers on. The ones who, like I have my eighth grade English teacher. She's still hiding out in Arizona from me, but sending me all sorts of messages. But all of my teachers come on, and when they would give me homework, I didn't like homework. But when it comes, I think in your space, you got to take a little homework home, and you have to do a little research, and there needs to be a level of homework put in. Once you leave the store to work on it. And I think, I've come to Cheetah Piss. Who named that one? Are you responsible for that one or no?
No, that's I don't know officially, but I think that came with the name.
Okay, all
So a
right.
lot of them come with a name, and if the name is because sometimes there's just strains that are just known, right? And
Sure.
so
I
you
see.
don't.
And I see you making strains that are known, and then I see things like Blissful Wizard, which I think is yours, right?
Yes, Blissful Wizard. But Blissful Wizard is ours, but Blissful Wizard did come with that name. We did not name it.
Oh, how many have you named in the store, percentage wise?
Oh God, I don't know.
Probably very
There's a
few,
decent
right? In
no,
the whole line,
no,
right?
there's a decent number in there that we have named. Um, yeah, because at one point I sort of laughed because there's been strains that have come out, and I don't know if we've named them or not, but they have like these weird, I have zero to do with the fact that they names, but they have connection, like they relate to like my husband, my child, my dog, um, one of my favorite foods that are just like random things that have come up that I have nothing to do with. And I'm like, that's so weird that they,
Well, if you
but
named it Wendy's Delight or something like that, people would know what it is, right? But
right.
when it's
Yeah.
Cheetah Piss, I'm like, all
No,
right.
that
I
I'm
mean,
pretty
go
sure
for
that
it.
came with the name. Well, so most of them, um, I don't, I'm just going to make this up as potentially where the name comes from because I don't know their name. I don't know what it is, but a lot of times the names come from have to do with something that deals with like the look, the smell, and the effect, right? So if when you're growing that strain, there is that has an aroma from the terpenes that maybe is more, for lack of a term, urine like, that could be where the piss is coming.
Well,
And
maybe it's a
if it's
Chad Ochocinco.
stimulating, the cheetah might be because of the speed. Like if it is a stimulating, I'm just making this up. But like if
It
you
is
hear
a
like a,
very high energy strain. I would say that.
yeah, because other times you'll have things where like anything that's a diesel is because that terpene aroma is has a lot of that kind of gassy smell to it. That's why that name is in there. So then you have like the treats, right? Things that have fruity names or cakey names or cookie names. It's because they give off a sweet smell.
Well, Chad Ochocinco once said that he pissed excellence. That was his, sports. That's how great he was. So when I see Cheetah P, I think of Chad Ochocinco. I don't know why, but I just think excellence. Curio Wellness is the excellence in cannabis in our state, and certainly the experts to guide you through what is a new space, an educational space. It's a thing we talk about a lot around here. You hear the ads talking. Go out to foreigndaughter.com, put your birthday in, go to Curio Wellness, put your birthday in. If you are a customer, we appreciate that. Folks say hello to me in the dispensary from time to time as well. Make sure you're getting your points and make sure you're redeeming your points and make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you're like my wife being a cheapskate, know what days the deals are. So you can go in there and stock up for the end of the year. I know you've been really busy, doing all this stuff. I would just say the one thing for any of these strains, especially if you like a strain, is knowing it's going to be there the next time. And I know above and beyond everything, it's one of the harder things because this is a plant. And there is a point where people do find the strain and then come back, not necessarily yours, but anywhere, and say, I'm having a hard time getting that again. Sort of like when beer goes away after stout season or something.
Well, so I think there is a cadence to the garden. So certain strains do appear, like so for example, you're wearing the purple shirt, we do Canna Blitz, right? Canna Blitz we usually only have out in the time that is football season, right? That one is
See, I
intentional.
thought your O thing was only going to be Valentine's Day, and then I saw it all summer.
No, you got it. Look, you need that Viagra like effect all
That's
year long. Come on.
365. Yeah, that's it. 366 in a leap year.
Yeah. So no, but there is a cadence. So things do sort of come and go. If you do really like something, I would recommend um that you stock up on it. But most of them that are kind of in our standard production, just throughout the year, kind of you appear, then appear again, appear again. So
Yeah,
just
you make that
be on
sound
the
really
watch.
easy in 30 seconds, but I don't think it is for growers, right? I mean,
Well,
across the
no, because
industry, that's a really difficult issue.
yeah. Well, I mean, look, if you walk, what we're in December, right? So if you walk the garden right now and you start looking at things that are young, you're looking at plants that are going to harvest like, when spring is coming, right? Everything takes a very long time to grow. So there's always an oddity when you're in the garden where sometimes it'd be like you're touring somebody in the summer and suddenly all the tags are relating to a harvest that's happening like this time of year, right? And you're like, wait, like the whole year's already over. So the planning is very far out, right? You've got like to flower the plant alone is 8 to 10 weeks, and there are stages of growth before that.
See, I'm just a guy that bought some gingerbread chocolate snaps from Germany, and they're delicious. But I'm thinking these things had to have been made in July.
Right.
Hey, got to get 5 months out on Christmas snacks. Curio Wellness, always thinking ahead. We do appreciate them, our partnership, all the education we do around here. Just a reminder, if you got points, go use them, get into the store, and please use the plant responsibly and medically, and know what you're doing before you get into it. It's part of one of the reasons we're doing this because it is such a new thing, and quite frankly, an unending a garden, as you would say, of information. And I think the more you learn, and I'm still learning along the journey, and I think that's part of why you and I get together. I'm not the only one, right? Nobody's got this figured out yet, right?
No, it takes a while, I think. And eventually you know what you like, and then you just don't want to be so rigid that you only get what you like, right? Because there always can be something interesting, but
I
it
have that
is
problem at every
important to,
restaurant.
yeah. But I mean, like, it's like the move, right? Like I'm the same way with the topicals. Like I'm never going to leave that because it's just too useful. It's always going to be in my medicine cabinet.
Yeah, it's really right next to my deodorant, right next to it literally
Hmm.
sits there with everything I do after I shave and do things. And it's lower back, L4, I have a bad issue as everybody knows. I talk about it for years, Dr. Steve and all of that. But this really does it helps, especially when I'm like in the car, sitting in the car, traveling, going long distances, anything I got to sit around for an hour or two. But over the river and through the woods for the holidays we go, and over to Far and Daughter. It is on York Road, just south of Timonium Road. Jump off, say hello. Our friends at Cooper's North are over that way. I've been going over that way. We're going to be doing a cup of soup or bowl there, as well as a lot of other places. We're going to have Maryland Lottery scratch-offs to give away as well. When we rev the engine back up next week, we'll be at Amici's on Tuesday. We're going to be on Wednesday wrapping things up really with Costas in Dundalk in the homeland. It's been a month long of lottery tickets, winners, fun. Our friends at Jiffy Lube Multicare are sending us out as well. And our 26th anniversary, sponsored by our friends at Curio Wellness and Far and Daughter. Wendy, I appreciate it. Don't be a stranger around here. We gotta get together through the holidays at some point here and move into the new year. And we didn't even talk any Ravens or anything like that. We got a lot of football here to watch next couple weeks. Things have been teetering ever since you stopped doing the show. They've been losing, and Tucker's been
Uh-oh.
missing kicks.
Yeah, that I don't like to talk about that kick thing. That's it's uncomfortable what's going on over there.
15-point favorites. They better win up in New Jersey. I'm Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking. Baltimore, positive.